Do you know which German leader combined all the powers of President and Chancellor of Germany and declared himself Führer and Reichskanzler, or Führer? Who founded the Nazi Party? Which German leader wrote the book Mein Kampf from prison, which later became known as the Bible of Nazi ideology? Who was awarded the Iron Cross First Class in World War I? Which German leader carried out the Holocaust? He was Adolf Hitler, the supreme commander of the Nazi forces, President and Chancellor of Germany. Adolf Hitler was born on the 20th of April, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary. He founded the Nazi Party and combined all the powers of Germany's President and Chancellor, declaring himself Führer and Reichskanzler, or Führer. He was awarded the Iron Cross First Class in World War I. He wrote the book Mein Kampf, which later became the Bible of Nazi ideology. Approximately 6 million Jews and over 11 million people in total were killed under his Holocaust campaign, a horrific genocide in human history. Hitler's name is remembered in history as a symbol of extreme dictatorship, racism, hatred, and genocide. On the 30th of April 1945, Hitler committed suicide in his Berlin bunker. Birth and family: Adolf Hitler was born on the 20th of April, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary. His father, Alois Hitler, was a customs officer, naturally strict and disciplined, while his mother, Clara Hitler, was extremely affectionate and family-oriented. Hitler was one of 6 children, though most of his siblings died in childhood, leaving him essentially the only surviving child. Alois had children from 2 previous marriages, which made family relations somewhat complicated. During his childhood, the strict household, his father's temper, and deep dependence on his mother significantly influenced his character. The family moved frequently due to Alois's changing job postings. Later, Hitler mentioned in his autobiography Mein Kampf that his childhood was full of conflict, strict discipline, and deep love for his mother, a combination that deeply shaped his personality, perspective, and behavior. Childhood and education. Hitler was not particularly academically gifted in childhood, but had a strong imagination. He was especially interested in history, German nationalism, war, and architecture. His school life was unstable and irregular. He dreamed of becoming an artist. Sketching, drawing buildings, and designing scenes were his passion. However, conflict with his father, resistance to discipline, and academic weaknesses disrupted his studies. Later, in 1907 and 1908, he failed the entrance exam for the Vienna Fine Arts Academy twice, shattering both his self-esteem and creative aspirations. The years he spent in poverty in Vienna laid the foundation for his future political mindset. Marital status. Adolf Hitler remained unmarried for most of his life and rarely publicly discussed personal relationships. For many years, he maintained a secret relationship with a woman named Eva Braun, who was his close companion and stood by him for many years, though he never publicly recognized her as his wife. In April 1945, during the final days of World War I, in Berlin's bunker, Hitler and Eva Braun finally got married upon. Their marriage was very brief, as both committed suicide just 40 hours later. This decision symbolized the last chapter of his life, where personal life, relationships, and political reality were intertwined. Struggles in Vienna and Munich. From 1908 to 1913, Vienna represented the most challenging and formative period of Hitler's life. He faced extreme poverty, sometimes spending nights on the streets. During this time, he observed the politics of Vienna, where intense nationalism, anti-Semitic propaganda, social Darwinism, and racial hierarchy were popular. Later, the central ideas of his ideology, Aryan racial superiority, anti-Semitism, and racial purity, took root in Vienna. In 1913, he moved to Munich to start a new life, which later became the center of his political career. World War I. When World War I began in 1914, Hitler volunteered for the German army and was assigned to the Bavarian 16th Reserve Infantry Regiment. He served as a messenger, performing dangerous frontline duties to deliver messages. During the war, he was awarded the Iron Cross First Class, a distinction rarely given to lower-ranked soldiers. In 1916, he was wounded, and in 1918, he suffered temporary blindness due to a gas attack and was hospitalized. While in the hospital at the end of the war, news of Germany's defeat and Emperor Wilhelm II's abdication profoundly affected him. He believed that politicians, communists, and Jews had conspired to defeat Germany. This marked the beginning of his ideas of military revenge and rebuilding the German nation. Entry into politics. After Germany's defeat in World War I, Hitler worked in Munich under the army for political surveillance. In 1919, he attended a meeting of a small right-wing group, the German Workers' Party, a DAP, and was drawn to its nationalist ideology. Due to his powerful oratory skills and influence within the group, he quickly became a prominent member. In 1920, the party was reorganized and renamed the Nazi Party, NSDAP, and Hitler gradually became its leader, strengthening his position in German politics. Beer Hall Putsch. On 8th to 9th November 1923, Hitler and the Nazi Party attempted to overthrow the Bavarian government in Munich, known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The uprising began at the Burgerbräu Keller Hall, but failed the next day in clashes with police, resulting in the death of 16 Nazi members. Hitler was arrested for treason and, while in Landsberg prison, wrote Mein Kampf, which outlined his vision for a future German empire, racial policies, and political ideology. This book later became the Bible of Nazi ideology. Despite its failure, the Putsch brought Hitler national attention in German politics. Reorganization and rise to power. After the failed Beer Hall Putsch, upon release from Landsberg prison, Hitler changed his political strategy. He reorganized the Nazi Party through strong party structures, electoral politics, and media propaganda. From 1925 to 1928, the party was small but gradually gained support amid Germany's economic and social instability. During the 1929 to 1932 economic depression and the weakness of leftist and conservative governments in Berlin, Hitler gained popularity through public speeches and campaigns. In 1932, he achieved significant votes in the presidential election, and the Nazi Party became the largest party in the Reichstag. Finally, on 30 January 1933, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed him Chancellor of Germany, legally bringing him to power and paving the way for Nazi rule. Establishment of dictatorship. After being appointed Chancellor, Hitler quickly established a strong dictatorship in Germany. Following the Reichstag fire on 27 February 1933, he applied the Reichstag fire decree, limiting civil liberties and suppressing political opponents. In March 1933, parliamentary elections and the subsequent passage of the Enabling Act granted Hitler almost unlimited legislative power, allowing him to govern without parliament. He established the Nazi Party as the sole legal political party and took control of the police, military, judiciary, and media, effectively eliminating opposition. By 1934, Hitler had established himself as Germany's absolute leader, centralizing all state and party power. Upon Hindenburg's death in 1934, Hitler combined the offices of President and Chancellor and declared himself Führer, the supreme leader. Nazi policies and social change. Under Hitler, the Nazi government pursued nationalist, racist, and anti-communist policies. Jews' rights were restricted, the education system and media were controlled, and youth were indoctrinated through the Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls. State-run projects in industry, agriculture, and transportation drove the economy. Socially, discipline, patriotism, and loyalty to the party were promoted as core values, extending the influence of the state and party throughout German society. Start of World War II. Under Hitler, Nazi Germany invaded Poland on the 1st of September 1939, marking the start of World War II. Aiming to expand influence in Eastern Europe and Lebensraum, Hitler signed the Nazi-Soviet Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Following the invasion, Britain and France declared war, beginning full-scale conflict in Europe. Holocaust. During World War II, Nazi Germany under Hitler carried out systematic genocide against Jews, Roma, political prisoners, gays, and the physically and mentally disabled, known as the Holocaust. Between 1941 and 1945, the final solution established labor and extermination camps such as Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor. Through gas chambers, imprisonment, forced labor, and starvation, approximately 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of others were killed. The Holocaust was not only genocide, but a brutal assault on human rights, humanity, and civilization. Turning points in this war. At the start of World War II, Hitler's Germany rapidly expanded across Europe, occupying France, Norway, Belgium, and other countries. However, between 1942 and 1943, the war began to turn. German forces suffered a major defeat at the Battle of Stalingrad on the Eastern Front, halting their advance. At the same time, Allied forces in North Africa and the Middle East defeated Germany's allies. In 1944, the D-Day Normandy landings opened a Western front, gradually reducing Germany's territorial control. These defeats and the Allies' strong advances changed the course of the war, eventually leading to Germany's complete collapse. Life in the bunker. By early 1945, Allied forces had surrounded Berlin, and Germany's defeat was certain. Hitler took refuge in the Berlin Führer bunker, believing that Germany could somehow miraculously win, though reality was far from his control. On 29th April, he married Eva Braun, and on 30th April, both committed suicide. Their bodies were burned outside. This period reflected his despair, acknowledgement of defeat, and the final collapse of the war. Hitler's titles. Adolf Hitler's political and military authority was marked by multiple titles. In 1933, he became Chancellor of Germany, marking the start of his power. After Hindenburg's death in 1934, he combined the offices of President and Chancellor and declared himself Führer and Reichskanzler, or Führer, the supreme leader of Germany. This position gave him ultimate control over Germany's administration, judiciary, military, and government branches. Additionally, Hitler was the longtime leader, Parteiführer of the Nazi Party, and became supreme commander of the German armed forces in 1938. Thus, Hitler held the highest authority politically, within the party and militarily, establishing him as Germany's dictator and absolute leader in world history. Death. On the 30th of April 1945, during the final days of World War II, with Germany's defeat imminent, Hitler committed suicide in his Berlin bunker. While in captivity in the bunker, he killed himself alongside his wife, Eva Braun, using a combination of gunshot and poison. Their bodies were burned outside to prevent Allied forces from recovering them. Hitler's death marked the definitive end of Nazi rule in Germany and stands as the ultimate proof of the collapse and defeat of the war in Europe.